Hi, this is Mark from LongIslandWatch.com, and in today's video, I have to apologize first. It's another Seiko video. I'm just trying to answer questions that people constantly hit us with, and videos just give the best answers. Pictures worth 1,000 words. I guess a video is worth 1,000,000 words. Today, I'm going to show you the difference between the SKX007 and the SKX013, since both of these have recently come back into stock in good quantities. You know, there was a lot of hubbub that these watches were discontinued, but they apparently were not, because the ones that I just showed you, their serial numbers are 2016 numbers. So the watches are still being produced, so since there's still going to be a demand for them, I wanted to do the video. So people want to know what's the difference between the two. Looking on screen, they look identical, and then when you look at the specs, you see one's a 38mm diver and one's a 42 or a 43mm diver. So the next question is, which one do I buy for myself? You know, people want to make the right choice the first time. So this video is going to show you both of them side by side, and then both of them in detail, go through all the size specs, lug width, case size, thickness, everything there is to them. I'll put them side by side so you can look at them side by side, compare and contrast, and then I'll pop both of them onto my 6 3/4 inch wrist so you can see how it might look on your wrist. I'll do a quick wrist check and then we'll get into it. On the right wrist, I am still wearing the Seiko Prospex Solar World Time. Love it. Great watch. Grab and go is the best. On the other wrist, I am wearing something I don't think I've shown you guys before. It is a Junkers Big Date pilot's watch. This is a watch that my wife and I gave to my father-in-law many years ago, and then when he passed, it was given back to me, so I wear it with pride. I love to wear it. Enough of what I'm wearing. Let's get into the video, and let's check out these two Seikos. So lined up in front of you here, I have 4 Seikos, 2 007s, 2 013s. They're all the K variety. I have an 013 K2, an 013 K1, a 007 K1, and a 007 K2. Again, the K means it's not made in Japan, and the 1 means it's on a rubber strap, and the 2 means it's on a Jubilee bracelet. That's not a hard and fast rule across all Seiko, where the 1 means rubber, the 2 means Jubilee. There were K3s with the monsters that was on the rubber strap. So don't think that just because you see a 1 or a 2 that's a delineation of what the strap is. It's not. Okay, so because the 013 is a larger number, it does not mean it's a larger watch. So looking at them right in front of you, you can see they are quite similar. But if you look carefully, there are some differences. And really the main differences are the hands. The second hand on the 013 is more of a broad arrow, whereas on the 007, it's just a straight hand with no arrow on it. And the 007 second hand has a dot on the tail, and the 013 doesn't. But we'll bring them up close. I'm going to measure each one. I'll show them on the wrist, and hopefully this answers so many questions that people have, you know, what the difference between them is, and also, you know, which looks better on my wrist. I obviously cannot answer that, but I'll show you how it looks on my wrist. And being that my wrist is around 6 3/4 inches, it's a good indication since my wrist is not large, but it's not small either. Personally, I would actually wear either one. So we'll start with the 007, and then we'll go on to the 013. I'm only going to do one of them, since the only difference is the bracelet. It's easier for me to manipulate the rubber strap one, so I'm going to do that one first. So here is the SKX007. Of course, the minute hand is now covering the day and the date, but no big deal. Let's get into sizes. So the lugs are 22 millimeters. The diameter, I'll go straight across from 3 to 9, comes in at right around 42 millimeters. Overall thickness, 13 millimeters. Tip to tip, it's around 45.5 millimeters. It's not an overly long watch considering its diameter. The lugs are fairly short. The rest of the specs, you know, you guys all know, 7S26 automatic movement, 40-hour power reserve, Hardlex crystal, 120 click bezel, you know, smooth rotating, you know, very nicely done. It's got Lumibrite on the hands and the markers, so you know it's going to glow very well. Solid screw down case pack, 200 meters water resistant, ISO 6425 rated diver. If you don't know what that means, check out some of the watch and learn videos. So this is the 007. This is, I guess, what you call the larger one. Now I'm going to bring up the 013 right next to it. So here is the 013 in my left hand, 007's in my right hand. Obviously, when they are side by side, you can see there is a fairly large difference between the two as far as size goes. When you're looking at it on screen on your computer and you don't have a reference, if you look quickly, this could be a 007 if you're not paying attention to the details. So I know it helps to have a comparison, and again, that is the whole purpose of this video. But if we look at the watches themselves, you'll notice slight differences, like I said before. The second hand is different. The minute hand is different. Just small differences that set them apart. The big difference between them is indeed the size. So now let's get into the specs of the 013. Most of the stuff is going to be the same. Hardlex crystal, Luma Bright, 200 meters water resistance, solid case back, ISO rated diver. Differences are going to be now the strap. It's a 20 millimeter strap now, which actually is a decent size for a watch that's sub 40 millimeters. 38 millimeters in diameter. Not much is going to change on the thickness. It comes in at just over 12 millimeters thick. Tip to tip, it's going to come in at just under 44 millimeters. So again, being that it's a 38 millimeter watch, you have a smaller tip to tip dimension. So it makes the watch wear smaller overall. So let's switch the perspective. I'll put each one on my wrist, and that way you can kind of see what the differences are, in the flesh, so to speak. So first up is the SKX013. This is the mid-size. My wrist, 6 3/4 inches. It certainly fits me, not a problem. Nowhere near being too big and nowhere near being too small. I wear 35 millimeter watches. This fits me perfect. This would fit a wrist down, I would say, at least another 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch without a problem. Once you get under 6-inch wrists, I would say, first of all, there's not many people out there like that, but maybe this would get to appear a little bit large at that point. And then the next one is the 007 K1. This is the larger version, roughly 43 millimeter diameter. Again, I honestly do not think it's too large for my wrist. I think it fits me great. It's not too big. It's certainly not too small. You can see the lugs do not extend past the edges of my wrist. It's very comfortable, and if you look to see how far I am on the strap, there's several holes to go. This could go a lot smaller if it needed to. Being a dive strap, though, it is super long, so there's a lot of room for growth if you want to put it around a wetsuit. So this has been Mark from LongIslandWatch.com showing you the differences between the Seiko SKX007 and the SKX013. Please like this video if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to our channel if you have not done so yet. If you have any questions or comments, please put them down below, and I'll be sure to address them. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.